Em record như thế này được không? Tức là đầu tiên thì để như này. Khi nào em cứ tạo một slide đi, để cái quy trình là nó sẽ có cái phân và nó chào hỏi là sau đó nó sẽ đó, sau khi nó chào xong gửi sang cái tôi. Nhưng mà tắt slide đi thì sẽ hiện hình của mình ở bên trên. Không, có chế độ sticker mà. Nhưng mà vẫn hiện, nãy em thử rồi mà. Thì con nhất có một. Thì bây giờ em để như này. Anh ơi, em để như này. Ok. Okay, Marcus. Now I will start to recording, and you will first you will need to speak, tell about yourself in a few seconds or 1 minute. Yeah. Then after introduce yourself, who you are or what are you doing in Vietnam. Yeah. And so after that, you can go on to your speech today.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, I help people.
Recording in progress.
I help company in Vietnam and Southeast Asia to grow through the method of we call capital mechanism. So capital mechanism is the method that we use equity funding to fund the growth of the company. Yeah. And I'm an entrepreneur like every one of you, and turn to the angel investor and VC fund uh, for the last 10 years working in Vietnam. Yeah. And yeah, uh, we are building a community of the angel investor and entrepreneur in Vietnam so that it can mastermind to help the Vietnam entrepreneur to grow uh, in order to grow globally and scale globally and link up with the global community of the investor and capital. So what we do is we transform traditional business from SME to bankable to venture fundable business and scalable business uh, with the framework of capital mechanism. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So a lot of people they don't understand how capital works, how capital market works, and how capital mechanism working. Actually, it's not a new topic. Capital mechanism is here for 400 years, and most of us, as an entrepreneur, we are hidden to aware this kind of knowledge. Is it okay?
Okay, Marcus. Yeah. Because today we will you will talk continuously. Let's say your client, your customer, your audience will know any word you talk and understand.
Yes, so you no need to stop to ask them about it. If it is okay or something like that.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
now I think because of the interrupt like this, can we will record it again from the time you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So
Is it okay? Because
I will stop this recording first, then we will do it again
yeah.
one more time. Yeah, and I hope will be the last time.
Em đi vào trong rồi. Bởi vì em không biết dùng tay tay này nó không phải là vậy đi thôi. Không phải đi.
Recording stopped.
Hello, Marcus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Are you ready? We will do it again.
Yeah. I'm ready now.
Yes, okay.
Recording in progress.
So my name is Marcus Ling. I help business to transform from small, medium business to become a bankable, venture capital fundable business by the framework of capital mechanism. So I'm an entrepreneur. Like every one of the entrepreneur here, I have my own business. I started my business in Vietnam since 10 years ago. And after that, I turned to be an angel investor and also a VC fund partner. So yeah, what I found in last 10 years that Vietnam has a tremendous growth in terms of economics, in terms of opportunity. There's a huge opportunity. And many business owner, they are very expert and very professional, and they have the potential to grow not only just Vietnam, but global. So what we do here is we help those companies to grow global by creating the community of capital mechanism and angel investor and entrepreneur. And we create a group of mastermind to help them to skill in the international level. So today I want to share with you a topic of about capital mechanism is the capital market and how it's work, and how as an entrepreneur need this kind of learn this kind of knowledge and the skill to apply to the business, to skill the business to the next level. A lot of us, like we always see that those are small business in Silicon Valley, like started with 2005 US dollar as a founding round, but growth and IPO in Nasdaq for like $1 billion, like 18,000 Airbnb seed round capital started with 18,000, but now listed in the Nasdaq with 60 billion. How does this work? How those companies start from small and within 10 years become a $1 billion or multi-billion dollar company? So, and where is the funding come from, and how they use the capital to leverage the capital to accelerate the growth? Okay, why some company they're able to raise fund, why some SME cannot raise fund? Yeah. So what is the criteria of those we see want to fund a company? Yeah. So today I'm going to share with you all those the framework of building a bankable, business model, business in Vietnam, in the global. Okay, so what we are doing is we bring investor from overseas and the platform of investor of global to Vietnam, and we bring the Vietnamese entrepreneur to raise fund globally with the ratio. So capital market is not new. Okay, or we call capital mechanism is not new. It's here since 400 years ago. But a lot of entrepreneurs do not aware that this layer of the knowledge in the journey of their building their own business. Okay, so they do not aware and do not know how capital market works. Okay, and how this capital mechanism is affected the skill of your company. So why some company they're working for 10 years, 20 years, or maybe 50 years, they still stay in a small business. But why some of the company, they are so young, maybe 5 years, the valuation become like $1 billion or $10 billion. So what is the secret behind this? Okay, so the first capital market is forming since 400 years. There's one company called Dutch East India Company. Dutch East India Company is the first company, with a very innovative method by raising fund from the public by issuing share. So share was invented 400 years ago, become like a tool of equity ownership, right? So this a piece of paper is represent the ownership of the tool of the company. So we call equity, okay? And what is so innovative about the Dutch East India Company? They also invented the entity, the structure of the company. We call joint stock company. In Vietnam, we call joint stock company, or in Singapore, it's a limited company, okay? Or in Malaysia, we call Berhad, okay? So all these companies are limited by stock, okay? And people own the piece of paper we call share, okay? And this share represent your ownership of the stock, okay? And this is very common in nowadays, but in 400 years, because of this innovation, they're able to raise big funding from the whole country of Netherlands. And what they do, what is the proceed of the fundraising? What they do is they use this funding to do the first M&A in the human history, right? To merge all the small shipping company to become a global biggest trading and shipping company called Dutch East India Company. And because of this, they're so active in the share subscription, almost the whole country from the top level of the from the king, from the royal family, until the different layer of the social economics citizens, like even workers, they are subscribing the whole share. So it means that the whole country are directly involved in this VOC, Dutch East India economic activity. When the company earn money, the dividend will share to them. And this is the first piece of the share certificate they issue, okay? So, and also because of the Dutch East India Company, they invented the stock exchange. Yeah, so stock exchange is one of the way that we raise fund as an entrepreneur, and to comply the fundraising in the raising from the public, we need to comply the rule and regulation of the stock exchange. So when the company already comply those rules and regulations for the stock exchange, so the stock exchange will open public to invest their company. So the company will raise the fund from the publicly raise the fund from public. So that's why they call initial public offering, IPO. Okay, so IPO is a part of the capital mechanism. Okay, so a lot of people will misunderstand capital mechanism is IPO. No, capital mechanism is a whole framework that how to make your company with higher valuation, create higher valuation, create higher growth before IPO. So yeah, this is what we're doing as a when we do the restructure for the company. So relatively, in Vietnam, the stock exchange is relatively very new. So compared with those, the first stock exchange in the Netherlands or Dutch. So the Dutch East India Company, when they founded, so after that, the stock exchange also founded for people to trade the share of the Dutch East India Company. So today is a Euronext. It's the same Euronext. You can trace back the Euronext market back to the 400 years ago. Okay. So and then a few stock exchange in the world like New York Stock Exchange is like 250 years almost, and then Mumbai Stock Exchange almost like 100 years and 200 years around that. Mumbai Stock Exchange is like Asia's oldest stock exchange. Okay, and when you come back to Vietnam, you see Vietnam's capital market is started year 2000. Is way younger than all the stock exchange in the world. So the first stock exchange, Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange, is started in year 2000. So it's 398 years late compared with the first stock exchange in the world. So means that there's a lot of potential going on. So yeah, and capital mechanism is not new. Yeah, as I say, it's 400 years. Yeah, and those companies they successfully created this method, this framework, and this capital market. Dutch East India Company have been valued at the valuation as 7.9 trillion company. So in today money, okay. So if you come to today, maybe still do not have one technology company can over this valuation. So nowadays, like the biggest company is like 3 trillion, maybe NVIDIA mixed with combined with the company like Apple, yeah, they can become like a similar valuation of the Dutch East India Company. But Dutch East India Company is a company that founded 1637, and this company lasted for 200 years. So they monopoly the trading route of from the Southeast Asia, East Asia, and to Europe, right? They are one of the biggest fleet that monopolize all the trading of the spice products from the Asia to Europe. So, and they explore different countries, like they even colonize different countries. So they become a colonizer. They rule the country. So this is a capital 1.0. With money, they can rule the world, right? They can colonize the world. They even create the war that after that, they colonize many places. Even the New York City today is very related to the Dutch East India Company. So Dutch East India Company, they went to the east side of the Europe. But there's another company called Dutch West India Company. They go to the west side of the Europe, across the ocean. They found the land. They start the city here, there, and they name it New Amsterdam. But today, where is New Amsterdam? It's New York. Yeah, it's New York. So they bring the whole financial system, methodology to the New York. Okay. So this we call New Amsterdam in back to a few hundred years ago. And after they have the war with the British Empire. So they exchange this piece of land with an island in Indonesia. The time Indonesia run island is one of the valuable island because the only place in the world produce the nutmeg. Nutmeg is the kind of spice. The only island produce the nutmeg is Run Island. So they exchange, after the treaty, they sign, they exchange the whole island from British, and British own New Amsterdam, and they changed the name to New York. And then the Dutch people will own the Run Island in Indonesia. And Indonesia, they also draw the line. That side belong to British, and the other side belong to Dutch people, right? So that's why they founded the capital of Batavia in today Jakarta. Yeah. So this is the whole the one of the history that I want to share with you, the interesting history that how capital market is born. Yeah. So and yeah, at the same time, before the war, they surrounded the places with some they built the wall. Yeah. They built the wall to protect the invasion of the British. Okay. So and after they lose the New York, the British acquired the New York. So they remove the wall. And the wall is today Wall Street. Okay. Yeah. And until in New York, the market is pretty like not regulated. Like every stock exchange where they come in, like a lot of speculation, a lot of fraud, a lot of equity fraud. People sell you the share, then they do bump and dump. All this thing is not new. It happened a few hundred years ago, right? So then in year 1792, a group of broker, stock exchange broker, they are signing an agreement under the Buttonwood tree of Buttonwood. And this agreement, nowadays we call Buttonwood Agreement. Buttonwood Agreement is the agreement that all these stockbrokers, they start to agree to form a body to do self-regulating. They regulate themselves to make the market is more fair, more healthier, more friendly to investors to invest. This is the foundation of where the New York Stock Exchange come from. So when you have the system, you have to trust that more investors will come in. That's why now they set up a set of rule of the compliance. What kind of company can be listed? Okay, so in order to be listed, so the company need to follow the compliance, follow the regulation, and if they follow the regulation and compliance, they are eligible to list the company in the stock exchange like New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq Stock Exchange, and raise fund from the public. So raising fund from the public, IPO, is not the destination of a company. Many people have a misunderstanding. Okay, my goal is IPO. IPO is just a reborn of your company, that your company started to comply with the rule and regulation as a public company, run as a public company. So should not be the destination. If you set your goal that IPO become a destination of your company, it's wrong. So IPO should be another beginning of your company. So after your company comply and it's like graduate from the university, right? After you graduate university, you start finding job, right? Then you still have tremendous growth along path of your career. It's the same. Your company IPO is just like graduate from the university. Yeah, means that this company is already successful, become a public company. But there's no guarantee that the company will continue successful. If you run it wrongly, you will delisted from the stock exchange also. So that's why do not make IPO as your company goal, but make growth, make the impact, that what kind of impact or aspiration you want to bring to benefit the human being as an aspiration, as your goal. So same like one company Elon Musk founded is SpaceX. The company aspiration is to make human being become the interplanetary species. So Elon Musk do not set the goal for SpaceX or IPO. IPO is a natural happen when you run the company good and comply to the rule of the stock exchange. But investor always looking for some sector that high growth sector. High growth means there's no upside you cannot predict what is the upside. Like people cannot predict why 400 years ago, Dutch East India Company, it can raise so much of fund because the trading is so profitable. But when a company can monopolize the whole trading route, what is the upside of the investment? The same thing. Now, SpaceX is a private company that worth 250 billion, still not yet traded, not yet listed in any stock exchange, but in the private valuation is 250 billion. One day when SpaceX successfully launched the rocket to the Mars, technically they are the company that monopolize the whole process, the whole route, like the whole the way how to human being colonize the Mars or make human being become the interplanetary species that can live on Mars. So investors have imagination. What is the profitability? What else we can do in that planet? So therefore, they want to become the owner of the company. They buy the share, right? When all the investors buying the share, what will happen? Share price go up, market cap grow up. So this is the basic of the capital mechanism. So, but everything back to one, the structure of the company. If you study the history, you can find that company is one of the greatest invention of the human history. So before that, our perception only can like we understand something that physical thing and fictional thing, right? Fictional company is actually a fictional entity, but it's governance by law. Law is a rule and regulation. So all this company is fictional entity. Fictional entity means what? Based on our imagination. How you can think that, okay, this is a company. How you can assume that this piece of paper is the stock is a share. So all this is based on the rule and regulation and the law. And who create the law? Human. So the whole concept is that the entity that created is so powerful that it can replace the old way that many company, that many country that the old capital like 1.0, like they need to colonize the land. So nowadays, no need. So, and back to many, many years ago, when a country need to colonize the resources or need to monopolize the resources, they need to conquer the land, right? They need to fight the war to control the resources of a country. But after the entity of companies created, they use company, they use trading, and they using economics to control a country. So it's a company like Dutch East India Company, British East India Company, they're using company to control the world. It's not a country control the world. So a lot of us, we do not understand that why so many countries in the Southeast Asia or Asia is colonized by British. This is because it's based on the economic activity of the British East India Company. So, and people start forming company, okay? Like, give you an example, like Rockefeller, Rothschild, and like Jardine Madison, they start their business entity empire. Like they start, like Rockefeller, they start a company like Standard Oil, it's an oil company, and Rothschild started those investment bank in Europe and in the world. And Jardine Madison is a trading company that selling the opium to China, and resulted the opium war happened between China and British, and resulted that Hong Kong become the colonized land of the British after they signed the agreement. Okay, nowadays Hong Kong back to the China control, right? But the company still there. The company who founded trading and created the war become a big conglomerate that listed in stock exchange. So this company is called Jardine and Madison. And you can see the white building is a headquarters of Jardine and Madison. And they become so low profile and hidden in so many in the public eye. They do trading, they do investment, and there are a lot of investment activity around the world, not only in Hong Kong, in Malaysia, Singapore. If you want to buy the Mercedes-Benz, it's Cycle and Carriage distribute. Cycle and Carriage belong to Jardine Madison Group. In Vietnam, if you buy milk, Winner Milk, major investor, Jardine Madison. If you take the lift will carry you from ground floor to top floor. So Jardine Madison, okay? So aircon, major investor, Jardine Madison. And you buy the car like BMW, Tacor, distributed by Tacor, invested by Jardine Madison. Bank, RCB Bank, invested by Jardine Madison. And those are the first batch of company listed in stock exchange. It's not coincident. Sacom Cable are those first batch of company in Vietnam listed in stock exchange in Vietnam. Yeah. And they have many business in Vietnam, like Starbucks, Guardian, Pizza Hut, real estate, Hong Kong land, from F&B, real estate development, car, banking, consumer product like milk. Behind, there's an investor, Jardine Madison. So it's how powerful of those capital company or company with the capital mechanism that can build a company that can last few hundred years. So Jardine Madison is few hundred years company, more than 200 years company, and still listed in Panama and listed in Hong Kong and listed in 3 countries they're listed. Yeah. So, but How about all those SME entrepreneur? SME entrepreneur, how far we are from the capital company or capital mechanism company? How many of you are entrepreneur that you found yourself when you are ready to grow, you need funding, the bank will not borrow you money, right? And when you are growing bigger and bigger, you're facing some limitation like, I do not have enough resources in terms of manpower, funding, capital. But the market is so big. But what limit you to tap into the market? So traditional route for the entrepreneur, okay, I want fund or I want some money to grow my business, I borrow some from bank. But after you go to approach a bank, you realize that bank do not borrow you money when your company do not have money. Bank only borrow you money when your company have money. You check your bank account, good transaction, have fund, have a lot of saving in the bank account, then you are eligible to borrow the money. But if your bank have money, why you want to borrow money? Right? So, but if your company do not have money, you start thinking, okay, now my companies do not have cash flow, do not have a lot of saving. You try to borrow from bank, none of the bank will borrow you. But how those company from small growing big? A lot of people don't tell you that they use equity funding. They don't use debt funding. Debt funding is you borrow from the bank. Okay? So even your company is so good enough, when you borrow from the bank charge you from certain interest percentage in maybe next 5 years or next 10 years. So what's the risk? Business, we know that it's always up and down, up and down. Today you are good. The whole economy is good. Bank have a lot of money to borrow. They're willing to borrow you the money. They charge you certain fixed percentage. Example, 12% in Vietnam, or maybe 5%, 7% in Malaysia. But one day economy go down. Your company maybe do not have the capacity to pay back those interest or the repayment. So the bank have the right to seize your company operation and to sell all the assets to pay them back. So this is a risk that a lot of companies fail. But when you see those companies in Silicon Valley, they start from the idea. Just have idea. How come those companies started from students, started from young people like 19 years old or 18 years old? They can get fund. The fund is not from bank. Apparently, bank will not borrow money with a company with just idea and founded by young people with no track record. But in Silicon Valley, they invest, they raise fund from angel investor. Angel investor invest in exchange of the equity of their company. So it's a very high risk investment, but also very high potential and high profitable. So therefore, the angel investing is so active. And when the startup founder raise fund by issuing the share, giving a part of the equity of the company to the investor, so that money is not debt. It's a capital. Okay? So when you capitalize it, you utilize the fund to grow the company grow another next level. Then what they do? They start raise another round. So what's the angel investor want? I've been helping a lot of company in Vietnam doing fundraising. So then I see certain percentage of the company in Vietnam, when they do fundraising, they sign the agreement, promise how many percent I give you back in 1 year. So when those percentage going too high, it's become unsustainable. It become a scheme. The more money they call, the more debt they created by themselves. Eventually, one day, the company cannot pay the debt. The whole company collapse, and the founder go to jail. But equity funding is different. People invest you, they're applying to join your company as one of the owner of your company. So you issue share to them. And we know business, there's no guarantee. But why? If the business have no guarantee profit, why people invest? Angel investor invest not because of your guarantee of the dividend or interest, how many percent. They're looking for the growth of the company for 10x, 100x. Just give you one very simple example. Peter Thiel invested Facebook when Facebook still just a small company with a few young people there. No profit, no business model. But Peter Thiel invested 500,000 in the return of 10% of the ownership, the equity of the company. But Facebook raising multiple round of fund and growth very fast. The market cap grow up. Eventually, this company listed in 104 billion. So Peter Thiel, 10% of share after diluted become 3%. 3% of 100 billion, how much? 3 billion. More than 3 billion. How to turn 500,000 become 3 billion in 10 years? So if you're looking to this, what angel investor want? Behind the mechanism to design this, we call capital mechanism. We design the company that bankable and fundable by investment banker and VC and angel investor. We design the structure for you. If your company comply all the structure that you learn in the training of Miracle of Capital, MOC, so you are pre-qualified in stock exchange. Because all this standard is designed to restructure your company to be compliant, profitable, high growth. So, and access funding while you are growing, not from the bank, but from the equity. The whole capital market is there. No matter what stage of company you are, there is a market for you to raise fund. Even your company have no revenue, we can design the company to help you to raise fund to the related market. Pre-revenue, angel investor. With revenue, VC, right? Series A, Series B, Series C. Growth funding, Series A, B, C, D. Mature company, private equity. Very mature company about to IPO, investment banker. Even after your IPO, you can do PIPE, private investment for public equity. So you see, the whole market is there. The world is not lack of money, no lack of capital. The money only seeking for the company that can grow high and deliver profit. Or what we call in the market is, the market is seeking for alpha. Alpha means that your company growth is more than the traditional listed company. Okay, so that the investor will invest on you. Okay, but a lot of company, a lot of entrepreneurs, they do not understand. Okay, and That's the reason that they fail to get the funding. So the old capital mechanism 1.0, people, those companies can colonize the country, exploit resources. That's why capital always like have the mindset of the people like, oh, capital is evil, right? Stock exchange is so many cheating. But the other hand, if you use the capital wisely, new capital mechanism is about for humanity, create a better world, solving human problem, create value for human. Like Elon Musk start the company, bring human being become the interplanetary species. It lower down the cost of rocket launching 10 times. A company like Tesla, so cut all the emission gas from the car. So now become a trend that EV, create a global EV trend. So capital is neutral. Capital is not evil. It's not altruism, but capital is a neutral that they're always seeking for profit, seeking for alpha, seeking for the company that not only just bring the profit for the fund, but also bring the positive impact for the world. So, and create value. So this is the reason why I keep promoting this concept and this methodology in the last 8 years in Vietnam. So I started the company I started my first company as an entrepreneur when I was 27 years old. So I developed a tool to help individuals to discover the talents, their inborn talents, by analysis their dermatographics. Back to many years ago, 2027, okay? 2017, yeah, when I was 2007, yeah, when I was 27 years old. I built the company from 3-person company, become a 450 franchisee in Malaysia. But that moment, I do not know what is capital mechanism. I have a vision to make my company IPO, and there is an investor so eager to invest in our company. Then we accept the investment. When I accept the investment, we lost control of the company. He became the major shareholder of the company, and he direct the company to the direction that not align with my original vision and aspiration. So I left that company. I start myself in India. I restart myself in Vietnam also, and these 2 countries. Because of my first business, I met a lot of entrepreneurs, and I met those entrepreneurs. They are so good. They have high aspiration, but they are facing the problem of funding and growth. And then I also oversee the whole last 10 years, the ecosystem of startup scene in Vietnam. The time only have 1 unicorn winner game, now have multiple unicorn, and become a startup hub of Southeast Asia. So a lot of alumni of MOC, after they attend MOC, they successfully raised at least 1 million. Some they raised few 100,000, of course, right? But many of them they raised 1 million to 3 million. A few alumni, they can raise Series A for 7 million, Series B for 15 million. Yeah. And some alumni in Vietnam, even they list the company in New York Stock Exchange. Okay. And one alumni going to list, it's Nasdaq Stock Exchange. The company buys back in Nasdaq Stock Exchange. So this become a, yeah, this is my family, this is me, okay? So my family, all the 3 generation, we are entrepreneur. My grandfather doing very small business, sundry shop. My father doing transportation at the beginning, then become insurance business. They involve insurance business. But all of us, we are doing a small business or SME, similar like a lot of SMEs right now. We don't know what's capital mechanism. Until one day when I start, okay, that's my business, and this is my old business. They call me fingerprint man because I can decode the fingerprint by using your inherited traits of your fingerprint. I can decode like what is the talents of you and what is your inborn talents. That's our news cutting. Yeah. Even in Dubai, in the radio. So back to my business. When I first raising fund, I lost my company. This is a very painful experience. So after I lost my company, then I trying to search for something, what I can do for my next business. Is there anyone can guide me how to fundraising and how to design the company to IPO and continuous growth? Then one day, I have a friend attended a training called Miracle of Capital. Like me and my friend, like seminar junkie, right? We go all kind of training. Anthony Robbins, Tony Blair, Joe Bauer. The more expensive, the more willingness I want to go. Because about to me, a lot of free training is wasted my time. But if the training is like 5,000, okay, I go. Training is 7,000, I go. 15,000, I go. But after I learned so many training, I still cannot find a way how to build my company to become a bankable business. One day we are attending a training in Australia, and my friend, his name is David. Then we sleep in the same hotel room. And then browsing the Facebook, I see some people attending a training course called Miracle of Capital. Then I asked David, are you heard about the training called Miracle of Capital? Yeah, I did. I attended. This training is very good, but it's not cheap. Almost cost me 8,000 US dollar. But the good thing is, after attending this training, there's so many activities. You can do fundraising. You can visit other company to learn the secret how they run the company. So, and this sparked me. Oh, this is something else. And I asked, what is the training about? He told me that this training is about how to make your company bankable and funded by VC and eventually IPO. So I'm thinking, oh, this is what I'm looking for all these years. When my first company started, I raised fund, the company so successfully, but eventually I lost control of my company. Okay, so that made me so interested to join this training. Then I asked, how much is it? 8,000, right? So give me the contact. Immediately I send a message to the customer service of that organizer and help me to enroll this in next month. This is how I know MOC. This is how I know Dr. Wong. Yeah. So just because of one failure, this failure happened in 2007. I had a vision that I want to list my company. That company, what I built. I have 450 franchisees in Malaysia. But I raised fund. One round, I'm out of the company. That failure made me have one lesson. This lesson is, if I want to rebuild my company, I will not use the same method. Because the same method will end up with same result. If I use the different method, maybe it will end up different result. Then I always wonder why those companies start up, they can raise multiple fund, multiple round of funding. They can raise angel, they can raise series A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I just raised one round, angel. I lost control. So there must be something that I don't know that what I don't know. So what I don't know that I don't know. This is make me make a decision to enroll myself to that training. That's how I met Dr. Wong. This is how I know Makeup Capital. And this training, after attended, I decided to bring this platform to Vietnamese entrepreneur, so that Vietnamese entrepreneur can go outside of Vietnam and do fundraising in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, South Africa, Australia, Japan, Holland, and Europe. So yeah, this is my first mistake as an entrepreneur, to build a successful company, but without understand what is capital mechanism, that I fail. Yeah. So I'm not a professional speaker. I share my knowledge to help entrepreneur. In the return that I can build a community of the entrepreneur with the knowledge of capital mechanism and willing to do IPO in the future, so that I can invest them as an angel investor. So this is my purpose of sharing the knowledge. So I'm not a speaker that just sell training. I position myself as an angel investor, and I position myself as a value-added partner, not just invest, but I help the company to structure the company correctly that complies to the stock exchange and list and grow and continue growth. So yeah. So here's my first part of sharing today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Marcus, for your sharing. So, I see that you mentioned about the miracle of capital. So, can you share more about that program that make you know more about the capital mechanism? And do Dr. Wong and you have any miracle of capital in Vietnam?
Yeah, we're going to launch this training once a year.
Yeah.
As I told you, I'm not a professional speaker. What I do is like, I want to build a community. So Miracle Capital is the event, offline event around the world. So every year there's one time offline event in Vietnam. So, but beside offline, there's a 9 months as rapid CXO program. CXO means that CEO, COO, and CFO. So many companies, when they try to prepare themselves to be public company or listed company readiness, but they always lack of the people that can have the capacity to do the work like CXO, CEO, and COO, right? So we train them. Yeah. So those companies can join the 9 months program to accelerate their internal staff to transform them become a CXO or CFO or COO. Okay, so this 9-month program is online, and the 3-day program is offline. But in MOC, it's like this. Once you join any event in the world, you can go to any part of the world with MOC offline program to raise fund, pitch your company, find for partner, raising for capital, and also bring your company outside of Vietnam. Okay, so there's so many countries that you can go. So all those countries, you don't need to pay another fee. You just pay the hotel cost to the organizer. Then you can go any country to do the show. Yeah. So this is the power of network. So people always say your net worth depends on your network. Do you want your network, international network of the entrepreneur? So that all entrepreneur can be your potential partner, can be your potential angel, or even they give you some resources that you need when you want to scale to the business. Like we have some entrepreneur in Vietnam, they can help you to scale, right? Like you can help you to scale your business by marketing. We have some alumni in Cambodia. He's a stock exchange CEO. We also have some partner in India. It's a BSE stock exchange head of listing. So, but your company, different stage, need different resources. When your company reach this stage, we will bring you the related resources to you. Many entrepreneurs, when they are very small, they say, I want the IPO. Yes, you have good aspiration, you have a good vision, that's okay. But back to the reality check, where are you now? Do you have product and market fit? Do you have a very good go-to-market strategy? Can you grow like 5-7% per week, not per month? So all these things in the ecosystem, we can help you to link up all the resources that we have. Just one example. There's an IT company in Indonesia. 5 years ago, he joined MOC. Now they already qualified listing in the Indonesia Stock Exchange. But before listing or after listing, he want to grow bigger through merger and acquisition. So I found a company for them in Vietnam, have similar product, similar skill set of the a similar market with a medium size of the revenue. That can potentially become one of the growth strategy of the Indonesian company. Another example, there's one startup in Malaysia. What he's doing is like on-demand EV repair. So car seafood, they do on-demand EV repair. They open the workshop that come to you. It's been like the Uber of EV repair. You call, they come to you, help you to repair. Okay, but they do not do B2B, B2C. They do B2B. So they service a lot of big corporation like Post Malaysia, DHL Malaysia, and some e-commerce company. So it started from the idea that everyone see that this idea is not sexy, because as a workshop, it's a very traditional business. Car workshop is a very traditional business. So, but after they start, they continue to improve, and eventually they find the product market fit. They are the one who, the most professional and the B2B EV workshop EV repairing service company startup in Malaysia. Through the network, they found a company that can partner with them in South Africa. So how come a Malaysian guy can set up a business in South Africa in a very short time? Because they can access the network of the maker of capital. Yeah. So there's a coffee company in Vietnam. They have 250 branches in Vietnam, all franchisee. So now we want to restructure this company, become like direct owned, direct developed, and so that we can capture the revenue of the coffee shop. But as a coffee shop, just in Vietnam, it's not sexy. So many coffee shops in Vietnam, maybe have 100 franchisee, 50 franchisee, 150 franchisee, so many. But what if this coffee brand, they appear in Southeast Asia? You have Singapore branches, you have Jakarta branch, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore. So the equity story is totally different. This is not a local Vietnamese franchise. It's a global brand. So, and the best part is all the fund raised in local. She find a partner in Malaysia, start the company in Malaysia, raise fund in Malaysia, and start the company. This is what we can help the company to grow.
Yeah, okay. So for the miracle of capital, we will have 3 days of live. Maybe in Vietnam or another country in the world. And you also have the CXO, is an online program for in about 9 months. 9 months, yeah. And so my question here is how I can join those program. Can you share?
Okay. So how to join the program?
Yes.
First thing, this program is designed for you to learn and apply to your company. It's not just 3-day learning, after that, done. So that's why we design the program is a continuous basis in every country, and you can return back to the training in different stage of a company. So those are the country we have. So the good part of this training is like, it's a checklist to build a company. So you cannot do everything in one time. But when your company grows to certain stages, you go back, return to this training, and you learn something new again. You implement it, you come back again, you learn something new again. You implement it, you come back again. And in this training is an ecosystem of IPO, right? We have alumni as an angel investor to back you. We have business partner for you. We also have an ecosystem from investment banker, CEO of stock exchange, private equity, underwriter, legal. It's all our alumni. We have this. The thing is like, when you learn this, do not think that, oh, this is I learn, I can get rich very fast. No, this is not a get rich quick scheme. The price is a membership price for whole life. It's not just the 3-day training, okay? So the rule of this MOC is a lifetime revision in any country. You can access international market, partner with investor, and it's a platform for you to invest for pre-IPO company if you are angel investor. It also is a platform for you to raise capital. Okay, so people, why they invest in this platform? Because those companies, when they're high growth, after angel round, you have the company go to the VC round. When they go to the VC round, most of the angels do not have opportunity to invest because after VC round, the size is so big. The size is so big that angel investor, they may not qualify to invest. So they only can invest private placement before IPO or after IPO. So, but as I say, high risk, high return. The earliest you invest, the higher risk you bear, the highest return you get. So angel investor is, the return is like just one level away from the founder. Founder as entrepreneur, they get high return. It's normal. But angel investor is the second one after the founder. Then we see. So this platform, we provide peer-to-peer consulting, coaching, and guiding. So we have so many expertise in this platform that can provide peer-to-peer coaching and guiding to you. Okay. Then we also have a fund, right? The fund will invest in a certain industry, follow the mandate of the fund. So it's not a class, just 3-day training. Okay, and it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not multi-level marketing. We do not sell any timeshare. We do not sell you many training. So like but when you want to join this, first thing is your mindset. Are you the one willing to invest in your mindset? Many investors, many entrepreneurs say that, okay, I spend 8,000, I can buy what we can buy? 3 iPhone, right? Around that, right? Yeah. Or maybe go to travel, right? Go one year-end travel, spend 8,000 US dollar. Go Tokyo. Yes, it's good to have this kind of experience. But what if you invest in the knowledge that allow you to understand how capital mechanism work and how you build your company become a fundable, VC fundable, and pre-qualified to IPO. And this knowledge, you can pass to the next generation. Is it worth it? And you can apply this knowledge. When you miss the knowledge or you apply wrongly, you can come back to do revision, learn again, and reapply. And this 8,000, you can go to any country that have MOC to raise fund, to pitch. That opportunity is priceless. Your pitching not only raise you funding, but raise you partner, raise your expertise to help the company grow. This is all the country we host the event. You can access international market. We can help you activate at least 3 to 5 market in 1 year. If you have good go-to-market plan and product market fit. This is all the activity we have. Australia, Vietnam, India. So in India, there's one alumni, after attended the MOC, he transformed the small car design studio become a big company. He raised some from the investor. So there's some feedback, say that I just used one idea I learned in the 3 days, make $1 million. This is from Cambodia. Just one idea he learned from the 3-day event, make $1 million. Yeah. So how to join this event? First, the event is hosted in December 5, 6, and 7, 3 days. These 3 days, you can join the offline training. But when you join the offline training, it's just the beginning that you apply what you learn in the training to your company. Okay? So maybe after 3 months later, you want to learn again. You can go to Malaysia, join the same training by paying the hotel cost. You can join the same training. Okay? So, and to register, you can find the people who will introduce you. What is MOC? Or go to the website www.moc.capital. Then our customer service will contact you. Okay? Our class is designed by a small class basis, 20 people to 30 people. By design like this. Why? Because we want to interact with all the entrepreneurs to understand what is your problem, what is your business, how we can solve your problem. So there's a lot of Q&A question during the training. Every section end Q&A, every section end Q&A. So you can assess Dr. Wong's brain by asking him questions. So he's the one that worked in capital mechanism for last 20 years. So from an architect become a capital mechanism guy. Because he worked in the Singapore company called, before his experience, he worked in the company called CommerceNet. It's an e-commerce association and investment company in Singapore that invests many e-commerce in Asia. So he start learning this, applying this capital mechanism when he first making his brother company IPO. His younger brother, tech company IPO. Another younger brother, eye hospital IPO. So one family, 2 IPO is good, right? Then another brother, then he start raising fund from one of the government tech company in Malaysia. And he invested in as an angel. And after the company IPO, the return is so big. So then he decided to become an investor. To become an investor, he have a checklist how to invest, what kind of company to invest. So this training is a design. The design of this training program is the checklist of him, how to find a company that high potentially to growth and listed in the stock exchange. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for your sharing today. So now we know that in this December we will have the uh, an MOC program in Vietnam. Yeah. Okay, and so now is I think it's the time to say goodbye together. So let's see and everyone. Yeah, let's say goodbye to the audience and see everyone in the next MOC program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in the next.
Okay, and thank you, Marcus.
Thank you so much. Even this is just my 10% of my contents. I have 90% of the content is not yet fake. We can create a series of sections for the next. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we will meet you really soon to understand more and hearing from you, listening from you for more information about the capital mechanism and the MOC program and so more about IPO. in the IPO journey of a business. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Recording stopped.
Okay. I will just stop the recording. So now we can talk together. Yeah. As I see that in the in the speech, you normally you have so much more content to share in a speech, right?
Yeah.
But today I don't see it in your slides. And the next one is I see that you are not focused your eyes on the camera.
Yeah. I have 270
Yes. So,
207 pages. If I put
oh
my